All right, we're live. Let's see, looks like we have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and get started. We've got a pretty full agenda. First of all, we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. We have a motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor of the agenda, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Any guests?
Nope.
So, okay, all right. Included in the packet went out before is the minutes from last meeting. Needed approval for those minutes. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to approve the minutes from last meeting. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion second to approve the minutes from last meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next we have treasurer's report.
If you open the tab for that, it's on the screen as well. There were no significant changes since last month. It's pretty fairly standard operations for the month. Just as a reminder, the cash and cash equivalents is about $2.5 million. $2 million of that is set aside for planned gas expansion in the park, and then a portion of that is also set aside to repay the county for the note. So our available balance to actually spend is not as much as it looks like.
It's committed.
It is committed. That's right. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, no questions, and
Move approval of the treasurer's report.
motion to approve. Motion and second. I have a motion to approve and a second to approve the treasurer's report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, treasurer's report is approved. And the next item we have is a resolution declaring the date of the annual meeting to be today. So if approved, we'll sign this after the meeting. Need a motion to approve this as the annual meeting of the Board of Directors.
Move to approve the resolution.
Second.
A motion is second. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, so this is our annual meeting. And next item we have is EDA attendance.
So we generally have great attendance at the meeting. I spoke to Pam today and she could not make today's meeting and is resigning. So she will be sending a letter in next week. This is just for a 2-year period out of a 4-year term, so it's not, we just need people to be able to attend the meeting, and which right now I think we have everybody who's a member.
I talked to her last night and at a different meeting, and she expressed her desire to keep involved with this group, but she said that right now with her job, that she works full time in Monroe, it's just really difficult for her to make the meetings, and she actually thought last night she would be able to come today, but then she had an unexpected change of work, but she might revisit it in the future if she has more time available.
So then there'll be somebody else nominated to take her place shortly.
Yes.
All right, with that. Move to the next item. Is there any questions on that? This is for election of officers. And Mike and I discussed a couple possibilities and we came up with a suggestion. So we have a couple nominations we'd like to advance to the body for approval. But if there are other suggestions, we're certainly open to them. There's no magic in this.
So we need to open the floor for nominations.
Anybody else want to?
You need to make that official. You do.
Okay, all right, so we'll need, we'll need a motion to open the floor for nominations.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second to open the floor for nominations. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right,
Any nominations from the floor? Then we can close nominations.
we'll entertain a motion to close nominations.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, nominations closed, so we have nominations, Michael Miller, Chair, Ellie Travis, Vice Chair, Marty McMahon, Attorney, Brian Hamilton, Secretary Treasurer, Brenda, Secretary Treasurer, Assistant. We'd like to entertain a motion to approve the slate.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, motion, second to approve the slate of officers for the next fiscal year. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion's carried. We have new victims volunteers for next time. All right, next item is the budget. And pretty simple, it's one sheet. Everybody had a chance to look at it.
So if you pull up the budget, I can just kind of do a overview. So at the end of May 31st, 2024, our cash balance was $2.465 million. And we will be transferring $41,826 from the Economic Development Authority from the Economic Development Department to the Economic Development Authority. So where you see EDGF, that's Economic Development General Fund, transfer for operations, volume branch maintenance, and marketing. We have discussed in the past the fourth item, which is the maintenance that's going to need to occur on the stormwater pond. Right now, I don't know if it's going to be more or less than that, but I needed to have at least a good feeling. It was about $40,000 last time. And then the cash for Corporate Drive, which is restricted, after paying all the invoices, the remaining cash is $351,075. And the estimated CD interest until November of this year is $79,082. So the CDs are, and right now the rates are still up, so we might be able to lock in another high fours.
We just don't have a commitment beyond November for
Correct.
late on those funds, so it's an unknown.
It is. After November, it's an unknown, and the banks always try to roll it over, and you have to catch them before they try to roll it over and make sure they have the best rates. So the expenses, I talked to the finance director, and she recommended $8,000 for the audit. Again, the estimate of $75,000 for falling branch maintenance. The insurance, which is up through VML, $3,000 is correct. And then we'll need a VDOT letter of credit for the Parkway Drive grant in the amount of $8,500. And then, of course, if natural gas occurs, it'll be $2 million. And we owe the county $386,000 left on the notes payable if you refer back to page 1 of your treasurer's report. We only have $351,000, so we can pay that towards what's remaining, and then of course prospect development, and then the $4,200 for the chamber. I guess my suggestion with this budget is when we get our final interest payment, that we go ahead and pay the county off the entire note, which would be in, right now, we don't have that cash, but we will have that cash in November.
And the projection is by the end of this next fiscal year that we should finish with a little over $500,000 cash in the bank.
Yes,
I
sir.
have a question about that, Brian and I talked about this a few times, but I'm sorry, I didn't pick up on this the other day. The cash restricted of $351,000, is that included in the $2.4 million at the top?
No, oh,
I think it might be.
yes, it is.
So
Yes, it
it'll
is.
be, instead of $540, it's gonna be about $200,000.
Right, after we pay that, well, it's zeroed out below as well, so it's zero.
I think we counted it twice in the
Okay.
top though. I think it'll be about $200,000 if all of the revenue
So,
expenses
so
come in.
basically the 351 is counted somewhere else, so it needs to come out of the 540 balance, so you'll have
the way that, right, at the very top of this budget, it says 2,546,000, 2,465,000. I think the 351's also in that number, so it should be coming up.
So the expectation, if that's correct, then we will finish fiscal year 25 at about $190,000
Right.
cash, not 500.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, that, I think that's better.
Right.
I mean, because otherwise there's a lot of cash committed to this operation. Let me make a suggestion that we get we either make a note on that when we approve it, or that everybody knows that this budget is actually, we double counted the 351 up above.
I think you can include that in the motion, can't they, Marty? You can include the
Okay.
change and approve it today if you want to.
All right, so let's do that then. Let's entertain a motion to approve the fiscal 2024-25 budget with the noted correction that 351,075 is counted twice, and we expect to finish with about $190,000 cash at the end of June next year.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion to approve this fiscal budget with the exception to be noted. We have a second. Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the 2024-25 fiscal budget, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, budget with the exception noted is approved.
All right, the next item is to go into closed session. There's the closed
All
session.
right, we will need a motion to go into closed session.
Move we go into closed session for reasons stated in the agenda.
We have a second. Second. So we have a motion and a second to go into closed session to discuss items on the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll go into closed session.